Local newsmakers and entrepreneurs talk about local issues on Northwest Notebook with host Ty Ray. Friday, Sunday, and Monday on KVOS TV.
Chuck Randall is a basketball coaching legend. He nearly won 500 games in his 35 years on the bench. In his 18 seasons at Western Washington University, he won 275 games. Randall is a member of the NAIA and Washington State Basketball Coaches Association Hall of Fame. He is also the inventor of the slam dunk rim. His new book is My Impossible Dream, who he co-authored with Barbara Kindness. It is our pleasure to welcome Chuck Randall to Northwest Notebook. Thanks for being here.
Well, thank you, Ty.
So what inspired you to write the book?
Well, what happened is a fellow that I played golf with, David Kindness, was in Seattle at some kind of a fair type of thing, and he was wandering around, and he came on to a gal by the name of Rose, and she had invented something, and they had different inventions there, and he ran into it and looked at her invention. He said, "Hey, you ought to know Chuck Randall. He invented the breakaway rim." And so she started asking him questions about it, and he said, well, what happened is big timers took it away from him. And so she got a little excited about that and came up to my house to talk to me about it. And when she did, she got in my junky basement where I have all the trophies and the things that happened and in my life and pictures of ball players and this and that. She said, "Hey, this is bigger than a rim. I need to get my friend Barbara to write a book on it." So she said, "Would you like that?" And I said, "This sounds fun to me. Let's do it."
Have you been pleased by the response?
It's out not very long, and I hate telling people you need to read my book. So I think in time it will, though, because Barbara does a great job of writing it, and she made my coach kind of wrong. Ray Thacker said you can't make a silk purse out of a sow's ear, and she just did it.
Well, it's a very personal story to you, this book. What I was struck most by in the book is how many people you actually pay tribute to in the book.
Well, Ty, you're not the only great guy in the world. I can tell you're a great guy. In fact, I'd like you playing for me, but the world's full of great guys, and I happen to run into more than my share, so it's easy to do well with great guys.
What made coaching at Western so unique?
Well, one thing is that it was my first college job, and I applied for Bellingham High School, and I ran up with, I guess, Gail Bishop and I were both very close to getting a game. They gave it to the third place person. And why I wanted Bellingham High School is I thought if I did well, I could move up to Western. And so I didn't get the Bellingham High School job, and just 2 years later, Western opened, and a fellow by the name of Joe Moses, who used to play at Western, was applying for it, and he found out they didn't pay very much. And I was making good money in California, and I made half, from $12,000 to $6,000. And the president asked me, "How would you give up $12,000 for $6,000?" I said, "Well, I decided when you're coaching, you don't coach for money, you coach for coaching, and you coach where you want to. And if I wanted money, I'd be a realtor."
Isn't that the truth? You started doing the basketball camps long before other people started doing them, and now, of course, they're everywhere now. And one of the pieces of memorabilia you brought with you is a Conover basketball shirt. You care to explain why you started the basketball camps?
Well, I went to Adolph Rupp was a big-time coach in my time.
Right.
And I went to a clinic, and it was on the other side of Glacier National Park. And he said in that clinic that there was a camp in New York and for kids to learn basketball. And coming back in my car, I thought, gosh, if Rupp hadn't have been there, I could have put on a clinic for him. I was kind of that obnoxious. And so anyhow, I got home, and I was riding home, and I thought, I ought to start a camp myself. And that way I could teach basketball in the summertime. And I got home at 11. I drove all night and got home at 11, and in the morning, and at 1 I caught the Greyhound bus to New York City to look up that camp that was going so I could start one.
And the rest is history. And you enjoyed it too.
Well, things you do in this life are enjoyable.
Let's talk about the slam dunk rim. You're not bitter that you didn't get the financial rewards of your own invention. Why is that?
Well, I know I'm not really bitter. I guess one thing that really helped me is I invented a putting thing.
Is that right?
And Fred Meyer bought 1,000, and Kmart was going to buy 60,000, and I was making $10 in each one. And so coming back on the plane, I thought 60,000 times 10, that's 600,000 bucks in a half a year. I'm mighty rich. And then I thought, well, what's it going to change? And I like living in the house I live, so I'm not moving. Sure. And gosh, I couldn't think of any. I'd like playing golf at Patton. I probably could go to the country club, but Patton's close to home, and I know the people there, and so I'm going to stay with Patton. And the only thing I could think of is get a different car.
Let's talk about your wife, Doris. She has been an important part of this journey as well, hasn't she?
Well, hey, it's tough on any coach's wife is a tough thing. And I would say 9 out of 10 coaches' wives would get rid of the coach. But she hung in there, and am I ever glad, because now she's the one that plays golf with me, and hey, we have a great relationship, and she's an unbelievably great mom, and so I lucked out in getting her.
Hall of Fame basketball coach Chuck Randall, thanks for being a guest on Northwest Notebook, and best of luck with the new book, My Impossible Dream.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.